say, for the first week. Now, a couple things before we get into this. Firstly, I am recording this a little bit earlier than you see this, so I might talk about some stuff where like maybe a club might sign a new player who might feature in these games, etc. So bear that in mind, and also this is a good time for me to sort of talk about the structure of videos now the season is starting. So we're not going to really do this sort of prediction for each week, every single week, but if that is something you want to see, then please let me know by liking the video and putting a comment down below saying you want to see this again, because I could potentially make that happen. But what we will be doing is similar to last year, where we'll do a review of each game week after all the games are finished, and we'll talk about how the games went. So yeah, after this game week we will do one. It might be a little bit delayed, but we should be able to get it out. So without further ado, let's begin. So make sure as well to subscribe if you want to see all of those game week reviews and more videos just like this. But the opening fixture of the Premier League 24-25 is Manchester United versus Fulham. Now, you know what? This is a decent fixture to open the Premier League. It's not like a incredible fixture. Like, I remember we've had a couple like really cool fixtures to open the league before. This isn't going to be like some blockbuster type, but I think it's a fun game. It's a really, really fun game between two teams who, to be honest, go into this game I think in not really the best preparation and best shape. If you talk about Manchester United, they're suffering from quite a few injuries. Obviously, Lenny Euro, their new signing, is out. He definitely won't feature. Rasmus Højlund definitely won't feature as well. Anthony and Rashford picked up knocks. Rashford definitely should be back, but I'm not sure about Anthony, which is of course a huge miss. He is their best player, Anthony. Now, I am filming this before the Community Shield, so we'll get a better idea as to. I reckon the team that plays in the Community Shield will probably be the team that plays in this game. So we'll get an idea as to what their sort of lineup will be. But as I said, both these teams haven't really gone into this with the best preparation, because United still have a lot of work to do in the transfer window, and most of their signings, they might well get some of those signings like Mazraoui, De Ligt, and that through the door by then, but they're not going to be able to feature in this game. And with Euro out, that means that, well, the centre-backs are probably going to be Lisandro and Maguire. At the back, their back four is basically going to be the same. Luke Shaw will make his return shortly at left back. Wan-Bissaka, he's embroiled in a bit of a saga with West Ham, definitely won't feature if he's not already gone by then. But I don't suspect they'll bring in a DM in time for this game either. So again, a big issue that midfield is going to be the exact same. Pretty much this team, because of Yuri's injury and the delays of the transfers, is going to be basically the exact same team from last season, except Joshua Zirkzee will make his debut. You would expect is going to start this game up top, so we'll see how he does on his debut. But yeah, not ideal. I think Amad Diallo could potentially play. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, for Man United, look, they're at home, start of a new season. It is unfortunately kind of similar, as I said, to previous seasons, where they're a little bit underprepared in terms of they haven't got all their signings through the door. But luckily for them, they have that Community Shield actually a week earlier, so it's still a friendly, but it's a bit more of a competitive game. So maybe that's something which is going to get them in shape, get them ready for this game. For at home, you would expect them to pick up the results. Another interesting narrative as well is Scott McTominay. Now, Scott McTominay has been heavily linked with a move to Fulham. Again, by the time this game pre-season games under his belt at Fulham. You'd expect he's going to play. But again, similar to United, they've lost quite a few key players. Joao Bellinha, Dawson, Tim Ream. They still haven't really replaced them, so again, they probably will replace them, but I don't think they'll be in time to actually play this game, so there are going to be quite a few gaps. It's going to be interesting how the midfield sets up without Bellinha and Ryan Sessegnon. We'll see if he makes his debut. The new centre-backs pairing, I guess, is going to be Bassey and Diop, which is fine, but yeah, not ideal. And, for Fulham, this isn't the worst opening day fixture. Man United away, I mean, obviously it's not ideal United away, but we have a look here. Last season, they actually did go to Old Trafford and beat Man United, so Fulham have a decent record, I guess, against United. It's going to be an interesting one. I think there's actually going to be quite a few goals in this. I think both teams will definitely score. I look at the defences with Euro out. No new, no really. It's pretty much the same defence as last year and same midfield for United, and we saw how leaky they were in terms of allowing opposition chances. So I think they're going to allow Fulham a lot of chances. Equally though, Fulham, as I said, with both Tim Ream and Dawson gone and not being replaced as of yet, Bellinha again not being replaced, defensively might be cut open a little bit. So I think this is going to be a fun game to watch. Quite a few goals. Hopefully I've not jinxed it. However, I think that being at home, I think they'll just about get it done. I think United will get it done, and it's going to be a 2-1. I'm going 2-1 to Man United. Victory for them. And was the Joshua Zirkzee scores, and Scott McTominay moves in time, plays the game and scores. But yeah, I have Man United win that 2-1. Okay, next up we have Ipswich, Liverpool v 12:30 Saturday kickoff. Another really, really cool game which I am looking forward to. Newly promoted Ipswich, I mean, talk about getting chucked in the firing line. They've got Liverpool. On the opening day in the Premier League. Gosh, that is brutal. But what you will say is this is perhaps the best possible time for them to play Liverpool, because it's the first game of the season. They're at home. Their fans are going to be absolutely rocking. They're going to be so up for this. Like, the atmosphere is going to be electric. And as I said, it's the best time to play Liverpool because Liverpool are under a new manager, a new system. Opening day still, maybe learning, adapting to his new style, new philosophy, new management. This could be the potential where they could catch out at Liverpool here and pick up some points. So they're going to be going into this with a lot of confidence. They've also got, most of their signings through the door already. The likes of Jacob Greaves, Ben Johnson, Amari Hutchinson back, Liam Delap. So a pretty settled squad. Had a lot of time, in pre-season to acclimatise, whereas Liverpool, again, this is why it's one of the best times for Ipswich to play Liverpool. Liverpool have had a lot of players missing in pre-season due to international commitments. They were one of the sides who had one of the most players actually go to Euros and Copa America, etc., and go pretty far. So the likes of Alisson, Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz, all of these guys and some more, Alexis McAllister, have barely featured in pre-season. They've been, I think, some of them, like Diaz, Van Dijk, etc., will play the last game of pre-season, but again, haven't really featured that much, haven't had that much minutes, and that's a particular problem when you have a new manager. When you have a new manager in Arne Slot, they have not had time to learn this new system in a game. Obviously, you can have a bit of time on the training pitch, but this new system, new philosophy, they've not had time to figure it out and learn it under Arne Slot. So that's going to be a really interesting one. Obviously, they're all going to be back, but will Arne Slot chuck them straight in? I imagine Alisson will as a goalkeeper, but someone like maybe Trent, because in that inverting role is very, very tricky. I reckon McAllister probably very unlikely not to play because they have a lot of players in there. Same with Diaz or Nunes. I reckon one of them will miss out because again they have other players in there. Gakpo I don't know about, so yeah, that's going to be really interesting to see if Arne Slot goes for that, goes for those big boys, plays for them, or if he just favours those guys who he's had time with on the training pitch. But as I said, this is the best time for Ipswich to play Liverpool. I actually think that, I said it, at home, newly promoted side, atmosphere is going to be great. Liverpool, we know they don't like the 12:30 kickoffs. Well, actually, we're going to find out if that was a Klopp thing or just a Liverpool thing. But new system, some of those new players, some of those key players could be out. I think Ipswich are going to get something here. I don't think they'll win, but I think they're going to get something. I think they're going to hold Liverpool here to a draw, pick up a 1-1, which is going to be huge for them. Okay, on to the 3 o'clocks then. So first up, we have Arsenal versus Wolves. Arsenal versus Wolves. So obviously Arsenal looking to get a good start to the season as title challengers, hoping to win the league this year. Now they've got a kind of similar thing to Liverpool in terms of they did have quite a few players who went far in competitions for like Saliba, Declan Rice, Bukayo Saka. However, most of them have returned. Most of them played in pre-season. I think the last game and a bit. So you would assume most of them are back. And it's a little bit different because Arteta has been there for a while. Everyone knows the system inside out, so they can easily just slot straight back in without any problems. So we're gonna have pretty much their full strength team. Arsenal here. It'll be interesting to see if Ricardo Cagliari makes his debut. I suspect not because he hasn't featured in pre-season yet, and I don't think he's quite ready. Jordan Timber picked up a little knock. Zinchenko, I think for that reason, probably will start then at left back for them. Also interesting, who leads the line, Jesus or Kai Havertz, because Jesus has actually been really, really good in pre-season so far. Havertz has also been pretty decent. Obviously, Havertz was leading the line last season, so we'll see what happens there. Maybe Havertz drops into the midfield alongside Rice, but that's going to be interesting. But for Arsenal at home against Wolves, obviously Wolves are a tricky opposition, but you would expect them to win this. They've had a pretty decent pre-season in terms of results. And yeah, this is a definitely big winnable game for them. But they'll be hoping for a fast start. Can't really afford any slip-ups against Manchester City. Now as for Wolves, yeah, this is a tough one. This is one of the hardest fixtures in terms of our opening fixture away at the Emirates. Yeah, you don't wish that on anyone really. But look, Wolves, they'll be hoping to get a positive result. They've actually had a really, really good pre-season going into this. Beat teams like RB Leipzig in pre-season. Things have looked pretty good. Now, there's a little bit doubt over them though because Max Gilman is obviously gone. He has not been replaced as of yet. I am assuming they'll bring someone in, but they're probably not going to be in for this game. So, someone like Yerson Mosquera will probably play, which is fine, but isn't ideal, I guess. And then the big one, Pedro Neto is going to Chelsea. So they're looking, I think it's Rodrigo Gomez, no, not Rodrigo Gomez, it's some guy, I think it's Gomez, from, or Mendes from Ajax, I can't remember his name, but he's going to be a replacement. Is he going to be here in time and straight in? Probably not, but yeah, Neto out is a big loss. We'll see how they line up in that front line. Wonder if Jorgen Strand Larsen or Rodrigo Gomez will make an appearance in this game in place of Neto. But yeah, look, if you're Wolves, to be honest, you're just looking for don't get smacked. That's really the aim here. Don't get smacked. You don't want your confidence just completely zapped out of you on the opening day. A positive, absolutely fine for Wolves. Yeah, so I reckon that's probably what's going to happen. I doubt Wolves are going to score against Arsenal, to be honest. Arsenal's defence is very, very good. I think Arsenal will get a comfortable 2-0 victory. Next up, we have Everton versus Brighton. Now, Everton look actually pretty decent going into this season. Most of their signings have come in early doors, so they've had time and probably will feature in this game. You know, the likes of Jake O'Brien, Jesper Lindstrom, Tim Irikbana have all, Ilman and Dye, all came in fairly early. So we'll see if they play. I'll be interested to see how the midfield line up without Onana in there, whether Tim Irikbana is just a straight swap replacement or there's maybe a sort of shift in there. Also up front, I mean, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, there's a little bit of a cloud over him in terms of he's been linked with moves away. He's got a year left on his deal, hasn't signed a new deal. Is he going to play? Is he going to start? We'll see. Or are they going to go for Beto or Neil Mopey's back? Didn't even realise he was back. But yeah, I think Everton looking pretty settled going into this, and they're going to fancy their chances against Brighton because, I mean, they have an incredible record against Brighton, don't they? Yeah, look at that. I mean, besides that, their last 3 games they haven't lost to Brighton, although that was De Zerbi Brighton. And this is, of course, a very, very different Brighton under Fabian Hurtzler, new manager. Brighton are going to be really, really excited for this. Get to see the new manager, which is really exciting. And similarly to Everton, got most of their signings through the door early. So you're most likely going to see debuts for Mats Viva and Yankuba Minter in particular, which is going to be really, really exciting. We'll see as well if Omari Dubry actually plays as well. Interesting what happens there. But a real interesting thing is the midfield, because as I said, really Mats Viva's side, he'll play, right? But Pascal Gross, big loss, is gone. Billy Gilmore as well has been heavily linked with moves away to Napoli. If that isn't arranged by now, let's see if he actually plays in this game or his head is turned. So without those two, potentially, let's see what that midfield shapes up like. That's gonna be really intriguing. But I'm definitely gonna look out for this game because I want to see how Fabian Hurtzler does at Brighton. I mean, he's getting a real taste of Premier League football going away to Goodison Park opening day. That's like Premier League heritage right there. I think they can actually do it though. It's a definitely winnable game. And I actually think Brighton, Everton notoriously are fairly slow starters. I remember last year under Dyche, pretty slow. I think they're going to do it, and I think Brighton are going to win 2-1. I think Brighton are going to win this one 2-1. Okay, Newcastle versus Southampton. So Newcastle will be hoping for a positive start to their season at home, and this is really the perfect opening day really for Newcastle. You got a newly promoted side at home, a game you really should be winning, and they've got most of their players back as well. You know, the likes of Bruno Guimaraes, Kieran Trippier, Anthony Gordon, etc. were involved in international duty, but you would expect would be back for this game. I believe they have played in their last friendly, so they should all be ready. Obviously, Sandro Tonali is not available just yet. I think his 3rd game he can actually return, but we'll see. The interesting thing though is what happens at the back. Lloyd Kelly, we'll see if he makes his debut. I'm interested to see what the sort of lineup is. Jamal Lascelles and Botman are injured, so maybe he goes Shaw and Burn and then Kelly left back, or Shaw and Kelly and then Burn left back. Probably Mark Gay, as a recording, hasn't been signed, but it looks like that deal might be happening. If he does come in, does he chuck him straight in? That's something that Eddie Howe is going to have to decide, but I suspect probably not, and I don't think you really need him in order to win this game, to be honest. But yeah, Newcastle will be hoping for a good result, and I think this is a perfect matchup for them against Southampton, who, I mean, Southampton visited a really tough opening game. You got Newcastle away at St James's Park. That's a really bad fixture for them. But look, they'll be be hoping for something. Let's see if some of their new boys get a chance. Sugawara at right back. Adam Lallana is of course back. Ben Brereton Diaz, will he be the striker? Interesting how they line up, without Jay Adams, without Stuart Armstrong in the side. But what I really want to observe from Southampton is, are they going to adapt their style in this game? That's really what I want to see. That was something which I have a big concern about. That's what I talked about in my predictions video, that Russell Martin's sides are quite stubborn in their style. You're going away to St James's Park on the opening day. That is a really, really tough fixture. So this would really be the time to sort of adapt your style a little bit, especially in terms of Newcastle. Stylistically, they love it playing counter-attacking football. When teams come onto them, Newcastle do fantastic at that. With, the likes of Gordon and Isaac in attack, they absolutely kill teams on the counter. So I'm intrigued. Are Southampton going to change their style? If they do in this game, they could definitely get a result, because Newcastle, we saw last season, are susceptible to a little hiccup here and there. So this is a game where I want to see how Southampton do in terms of style. And if they change their style, then maybe I will change my prediction on them. However, I don't think they will. And as I said, I think stylistically this is a really good matchup for Newcastle and a bad one for Southampton. And I actually think, sorry Southampton fans, I think they're going to get a bit of a whooping. I think Newcastle make a statement here. I think it's going to be a 3-0 victory to Newcastle. They started last season really well, smacking up Villa. I think we're going to do the same thing here and win comfortably 3-0. Next up we have Nottingham Forest versus Bournemouth. So Nottingham Forest, this is an interesting game. This is interesting for multiple reasons. So firstly, Nottingham Forest, I've actually been really impressed with them in terms of they haven't done tons and tons of business. So they have a pretty settled squad going into this game, and most of their signings they got in early. I'm intrigued to see what happens in the goalkeeping department. Obviously, Carlos Miguel has come in. Is he going to be the starting goalkeeper head of Sells, who actually did pretty decent, I thought, in the back end of last season for Forest? We'll see there. Murillo has been linked with moves away, but I think is staying, so I suspect will go straight into the lineup again. New boy Elliot Anderson. Again, I suspect there's been a decent amount of money on him. He probably is going to become a starter and should play this game. I'm intrigued to see how he does at his new side and where exactly he plays. But I really want to see who starts up front. Obviously, Taiwo Wanyi is back, but I think it's probably going to be Chris Wood. Forest have actually been linked with a couple strikers in the market. I think I actually saw Sandy Jimenez being linked, which is a crazy move if they get that done. But Taiwo Wanyi, I think it was for personal reasons or something, wasn't involved in the pre-season tour, so I'm guessing Chris Wood is leading the line for them. And yeah, this is a game where at home Forest will be hoping for a win. Now luckily for them, Solanke is not going to be here, because the last time we played each other, not this one, but at the silly ground, of course, Bournemouth won 3-2. I'm pretty sure Solanke either scored a brace or a hat-trick. I'm pretty sure it was a hat-trick. But he absolutely ripped him apart. That was under Nuno as well, one of the earlier games under Nuno. So that's what I'm really intrigued to see about. Obviously, at the recording, Solanke is still there, but it looks pretty much confirmed he's going to Spurs. Let's see if Bournemouth bring someone in, and if they do, if they're going to play. I suspect not. I think Enes Unal will lead the line, which is perfectly fine. I thought it was actually pretty decent for them when he joined in January, but that is of course a big loss. I mean, when they met, last season, a draw and a Bournemouth victory, to be honest, I think this result was going to repeat again. I think these two are fairly evenly matched. I think it's going to be a 1-1. I think it's going to be a 1-1 again. Okay, next up we have West Ham versus Aston Villa. West Ham versus Villa. So, I'm really, really excited for this one, because these are two teams I really am looking out for this season. I think both of these have done absolutely incredible business. Both of them have been absolutely incredible in the transfer window, and that's really what I want to see. Who West Ham because most of their new signings have come fairly late. Obviously, Max Gilman came in early. He'll play pretty much, definitely going to play. He's had plenty of time. But then Jean-Claire Todibo looks like he's joining very, very late. Hasn't really been involved. Is he going to get chucked straight in? Maybe, because they are kind of lacking centre-backs with Zuma, and I'm pretty sure Agued is going as well. So, is it going to be Gilman and Matt Rapanos, or is it Todibo going to get chucked straight in? Guido Rodriguez as well has only just joined as well. Let's see if he gets chucked into the firing line. Now, Somerville and Falkirk is the interesting one, so because again they join at the same time as Guido Rodriguez, but I'm assuming these are going to be key players for West Ham this season. But are they going to go straight into the team because they never been here for like a week and a half? That's probably about it. Lewis Gilherm, on the other hand, has been here for all of pre-season, but he's a young guy. I'm not sure if he's actually going to play. But I'm really intrigued to see if they do play, how they fit in to their new teams with this little time to prepare. I think a couple of them will play. I reckon. I don't think Somerville plays. I think I'll go Gilherm. Maybe Falkirk plays. I don't think Guido Rodriguez plays because they have numbers in there already anyway. Gilman definitely plays, and I think Todibo goes straight in. But yeah, we'll see how they do. Under Lopetegui as well, new manager. Let's see how his system does. And it's a good test against Villa. As for Villa, same thing. Made a lot of signings. However, most of them will be available because they did make those signings fairly early. I'm intrigued though, on a personal note. I don't think many of them will actually play. I think most of those signings are of squad players. Ian Martin is one who could play. I'm intrigued, very, very intrigued who plays at left back. They've got Lucas Dean, they've got Alex Moreno and Ian Martin on the books. Three very, very good left backs who most Premier clubs would take any of these three because they are really, really good. Let's see who plays at that left back role. The midfield as well is really, really intriguing because obviously Douglas Luiz is gone. Amadou Onana is in. Ross Barkley is also in. Enzo Paranchea is in. What sort of combination is going to go for? Jacob Ramsey is somebody who has been linked with moves away as well, so is he going to feature? Probably not. I suspect he's probably just going to go Tielemans, McGinn. Kamara is also back from injury, I'm pretty sure. He's back from injury, I'm not 100% sure on that though. But yeah, I think he's going to go McGinn, Tielemans, and Onana. I think Onana will just slot straight into the Douglas Luiz role. But we'll see. And then yeah, in the attack again, I think Philogene Illing Jr. probably won't play. Diaby is gone. Who slots in there? Leon Bailey, I suspect, is going to take that. And Morgan Rogers as well. Morgan Rogers has looked good in pre-season. Let's see how they do. But really, really intriguing this game because of all of those new signings. Having said all that, I think that Villa squad is a bit more settled right now. I think some of those new signings won't play for West Ham. And I actually think Villa are going to get the job done. This is a really, really good game, but I think it'll be a close one. Not too many goals, but a really fascinating battle. I think Villa are going to win 1-0. I'm going to go 1-0 Villa. Okay, next up we have Brentford versus Palace on the Sunday 2 o'clock kickoff. So, when these guys faced each other last season, it was 3-1, and this is where Palace absolutely obliterated Brentford. I think at least they got a hat-trick in that game. Or 2 goals, can't quite remember. And then 1-1 in the other game. But these two are... This is a really, really interesting battle. From a Brentford perspective, a really, really... One which I'm keen to see is Ivan Toney. Obviously, Igor Thiago has come in, but he is injured, so he's not going to feature up top for them. Ivan Toney, as of recording, looks like he's probably staying. Nothing has really been confirmed about him leaving, not really too much speculation. He was of course on England duty, so he's returned back quite late. Not really been involved in pre-season too much for Brentford. But are they going to chuck him straight in? We'll see. Or is he going to be on the bench? I reckon he's probably on the bench because they have Mbeumo fit, they have Kevin Schade fit, and Weezer fit. I think I'll just go for that front three. But yeah, we'll have a look at that. Palace. Now Palace is an interesting one because firstly, Monkey, I mentioned him. He could be gone to Newcastle by the time this game comes around. If not, then I don't know if he plays. Probably not, but with all the saga around him, probably not. So who plays there? Probably Chaddy Riyad. Chaddy Riyad, the new signing, probably going to make his debut here. We'll see how he does. I'm intrigued about the attack though. The big one though is Jean-Philippe Mateta. Now Mateta was at the Olympics with France and they got all the way to the final. They lost to Spain, which was a fantastic game by the way. So Mateta has not been involved in any pre-season, but of course he is very much fit and ready to go. Is he going to come back and just go straight in, or are they going to say, you know what, you've been in a tense tournament, have a little break, or is he just going to get chucked straight in? Really looking out for that one. And then in the attack, you know, Elise is gone. How are they going to set up? Who's going to take that? Ismail Assar, Daichi Kamada have all come in. Where are they going to fill in? Yeah, really fascinated about that. Eze, same thing. Obviously involved with England, hasn't really been involved in pre-season. Is he going to come back straight into the team? I think with someone like Eze being one of your best players, he probably does. Same with Jefferson Lerma, maybe. But I think Eze definitely plays this game. Not sure if he plays for full 90, but I think he'll play most of the game. As for predictions, I think that is going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I think it'll be 1-1. Yeah. I'm going to go 1-1. Right then, Chelsea Man City. Gosh, I'm not looking forward to this game. So, the really funny thing about this game is we actually played each other in pre-season. So, we already have a taste of this, you know, fixture, of this battle. Tactically, and of course Man City smacked us up 4-2 in that game. Now look, from a Chelsea perspective, what I really want to see is the lineup. We have Enzo Maresca has a lot of things to decide. Firstly, I mean, look at how many keepers we have here, but who does he play in goal? Robert Sanchez or Philip Jorgensen? Philip Jorgensen's come in, obviously, as the new keeper, but Robert Sanchez has been involved more in pre-season. Jorgensen's played a little bit, but not too much. I suspect it's probably going to be Robert Sanchez, to be honest, which does not fill me with confidence. Anyway, in defence, again, left back is going to be really interesting what happens here. So, Reece James is suspended, picked up a suspension at the back end of last season, if you remember, so he's not available for this game. So that pretty much means it's guaranteed Malo Gusto is going to play at right back. But in pre-season, Malo Gusto has been playing left back and he's been inverting from left back into midfield. So now Malo Gusto moves to right back. Is he going to invert Malo Gusto to right back, or is he going to continue with the left back inverting? And if he is, then who's playing left back? Because Mark Gorilla, of course, is going to be back, but not involved in any pre-season. How fit is he going to be? I don't know. And then if you're asking him to start at left back and invert from left back in this new sort of system, similar to what I said about Arne Slot, he's not had a chance to learn what Maresca wants from an inverted fullback. It's a bit of a risk. But then in pre-season, the likes of Ben Chilwell haven't played at left back. Malo Gusto has been the one playing at left back, or Levi Colwill. So I suspect what is going to happen is Malo Gusto will play right back. I think that Cucurella is actually going to be chucked straight in at left back, but I don't think it will be inverting. I think Malo Gusto will invert from right back. And in the centre back pairing, I have no idea who it's going to be. I have no idea. Think of Colwill and the Badia Shield maybe. I don't know, he's been chopping and changing with all of them, and none of them have filled me with confidence. We'll see if we also play this high line, because we got absolutely picked apart by Man City in pre-season because of this, and playing out from a back as well. Are we going to do that in the game? Has Maresca learned from that pre-season game and going to adapt things? I hope he has. Also then, Samu Omarodion, I don't think he'll feature. Nicholas Jackson has been injured for a lot of pre-season, had fitness issues, so is he going to be back? Is he going to play? I don't know. For that case, it'd probably be Mark Gu up top. But yeah, that's really we have a lot of selection problems, Chelsea, and things to iron out. But also Man City they're missing a lot of players. And, well, they have similar issues with more players in terms of Carl Walker, John Stones, Phil Foden, Rodri. All have not been involved in pre-season at all and are going to be returning very, very, very late for this game. Even the likes of Bernardo, De Bruyne, Diaz will have one pre-season game under their belt. So again, is Pep going to risk it? He's going to chuck them all straight into this game. That's going to be really, really intriguing. I reckon he's probably not, just because he's on pre-season, but his D team smoked us, so he probably doesn't need to. But either way, look, I'm hoping, I'm going to be a bit more optimistic. I'm hoping we've learned some things, but realistically, I don't think we're winning this, and I think we're going to lose. I think we're going to lose. Yeah. I think we're going to lose. I think Haaland's going to have a really good game, like he did in pre-season, scored a hat-trick against us. I think he might dunk on us again. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Man City. Don't think we're going to get smacked above him. We 2-1 Man City. I think we can score. We've looked really good at going forward in pre-season, just defensively. Okay, and finally we have Leicester Spurs. So Leicester first game back in the Premier League at home, which is really what you want. And against Spurs, which is a tough fixture, but definitely one at home where they could potentially nick something from this game. I'm really intrigued to see how Leicester set up under Steve Cooper. Are they going to use a back five or a back four? That's something that is really interesting, because Steve Cooper at Forest in his he originally used a back four, then switched to a back five to be more conservative, and that's what he stuck with. Is he going to use it at Leicester? I don't know. I haven't actually been paid attention, to be fair, to their pre-season game, so I don't know. Maybe a Leicester fan can tell me how they're playing. And I'm intrigued to see what that midfield is like, with Kieran Dewsbury all gone as well, so yeah, we'll see. Jamie Vardy, I suspect, is leading the line. Can he do it in the Premier League once again? Well, we'll see, but at home, decent fixture for Leicester, and hopefully they can get something out of this game to boost morale, because I think it's a little low at Leicester right now. As for Spurs, couple interesting things in terms of selection. Romero, similar to other players we've mentioned, gone very, very far in the Copa America, so is he going to be back in time, and is he going to play? Probably not. I mean, they have Dragosine in there, right? So I'm guessing just slot him in and rest Romero for this. And then the interesting thing is up top though, Dominic Solanke looks like he is signing for Spurs. Is he going to be chucked straight in? I don't think so, but I think he'll probably feature in this game off the bench at some point. That means up top, I reckon I think he'll probably just go Son up top, Brennan, Johnson, and Timo Werner on the wings. Mikey Moore potentially could feature. He's had a fantastic preseason, as has Will Lancashire. To be fair, he's a striker who has had minutes in preseason. Could he play up top? Maybe. We will see. Archie Gray as well. Obviously, will he make his debut for Spurs? We'll have a look. But look, Spurs is a winnable game. Definitely a newly promoted side, but it is a dangerous one away from home. I do think Spurs will win this though. I think Spurs will have enough to get the job done. I think it'll be 2-1 to Spurs. So there we go. Those were my predictions. I have a Man United win, a Ipswich and Liverpool draw, Arsenal to beat Wolves, Brighton to beat Everton, Newcastle to beat Southampton, Nottingham Forest Bournemouth draw, Villa to beat West Ham, Brentford Palace draw, City to beat Chelsea, and Spurs to beat Leicester. So those are my predictions. What are your predictions?